Good morning, everyone. This is Riley with Midwest Market Management, bringing you the Tuesday, July 21st rendition of U.S. weather from a national yield perspective. You're all just stuck with me today. Busy schedules going on, and I am just the only one available right now. So let's hop into what's going on with the maps and starting out with crop conditions on the corn side of things. Down 1% this week. Rhyme or reason behind that is pretty simple. The Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin had very, very hot and dry conditions over the last 10 days. That's not anything that's surprising. One thing I do want to note that kind of shocked me was seeing state of Iowa actually up last week a couple points, considering there wasn't any rain for them for almost the entire state of Iowa either. So seeing them up for corn and beans was a little bit of a surprise. But soybean conditions actually improved 1% as a country due to the central belt, including Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Illinois, all up pretty solidly. But one thing I'm continuing to keep an eye on, whether it's corn or beans, Dakota is really starting to take a heavy hit from the lack of rainfall they've had up there, and hot conditions to go with it is starting to spell a recipe for some real concern. So going forward, looking into maps, next 1 to 5 day, temperatures definitely cooler than last week. But if you look in that same region that I just mentioned, that Western Belt, South Dakota, North Dakota, even a good chunk of Nebraska, 90+ degree temperatures still. And if you go to Kansas and South, they're staying consistently in the hundreds there. So some real concern for the northern Western Belt and the Dakotas and even Western Minnesota. They're going to need some rain soon to help them out. But looking away from that, majority of Iowa, Wisconsin, and the entire Eastern Belt, cool temperatures right now. And in the tail end of July here, you can't ask for better temperatures than that in terms of helping to produce a crop. So moving in the 6 to 10 day, heat looks to be coming back, not as severe as round one, but still pretty warm, looking in the central belt, upper 80s to lower 90s. And as you look to the west again, South Dakota is returning back into the hundreds in that 6 to 10 day window. So more heat coming in, and if there's no moisture to help them out, there's a real storyline starting to brew up here. And as we move into the rainfall side of things, you look at the last 2 weeks of rainfall. Majority of this was on the back end of 2 weeks ago. About the last 10 days until yesterday, there wasn't really any rain. There was a cell that came through Iowa yesterday that brought a good amount of rainfall, anywhere from an inch plus. There were some select areas that had some heavy wind damage that came with it, but a lot bigger area got a good rain and missed out on the wind than the areas that got hurt by the wind. So from a national yield perspective, definitely a positive for yield, a negative for markets. But moving ahead, 1 to 5 day precip. You can see Eastern Belts continuing to get a little bit more rain, help them out. In the west, Nebraska getting some rain, which is really, really helpful for them as they're dry too. Not all of Nebraska is irrigated, so anything that they can get will definitely help them out. But the one thing I'm still looking at really, really close, this eastern side of South Dakota, which is your main cropping region of the state. 1 to 5 shows no rain, and as I flick it over to the 6 to 10 here, 6 to 10 is pretty dry across the board. So there's a chance we're sitting here at the end of the July, moving into August, and a lot of people are starting to get upset. Crops are going to start to deteriorate a little bit. So from a national yield perspective, I would say that number is dropping compared to where we were sitting a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and go as far back as you want. So at this point, we've always mentioned we're taking away yield from what, and that's a tough thing to decipher. Before I can give you guys an answer on that, I want to talk with some more people and make a better informed decision of what we broadcast on this weather video. So Thursday, I'll have a better gist of what I want to use there, but I would say from a national yield standpoint, definitely taking the yield down. That western belt is really starting to hurt. So that is something to keep in mind. And from a market perspective, that is definitely going to be friendly for the markets. And we've seen a lot of rallies coming over the last 10 days to 2 weeks. And as of right now, weather's showing that that's not for nothing, that there's really something that can continue there. So with that said, that is all I have for you guys today. This has been U.S. weather from a national yield perspective. You can check us out either on our YouTube channel or at midwestmarketmanagement.com. Thank you and have a good day.